Welcome back to Radio Shack, and today we have another episode recap of TMNT episode Trans-Dimensional Turtles. And before I get into today's episode, I'd like to let you guys know I'm treating this kind of like a crossover week. Well, because this episode, you know, we have 80s and 2012 Turtles, and the Flash is going to be crossing over with Supergirl, so I thought I'd do a recap episode of that. If you want me to do more of those type of episodes, let me know in the comment section below. We get in today's episode. Turtles have been looking very hard for the third piece to the black hole generator, and the Turtles end up getting locked on with this trans-dimensional beam that sends them to a two-dimensional Earth, which is the home of the 80s Turtles. The reason that they were transported there is because the 80s Turtles need their help to stop Krang from basically destroying their dimension. And it's funny how when they're all talking to each other, the 80s Raph and our Donnie kind of make fun of each other's voices because they sound funny, us knowing that they're played by the same actor. They run into Krang and they end up stopping him, but they have to follow him to another dimension, which happens to end up being the three-dimensional world, which is the one we know. The 80s Leo is trying to tell everybody else what their job is to do, and our Leo is kind of like, you can't order my team around. I'm the order guy. But they end up stopping Krang again and getting the tech that he was using, which is called a dimensionizer. And in order to fully understand the way it works, they have to go back to Donnie's lab. They get to the lair, and Raph tells the 80s Turtles to, in sign language, stay here, be quiet, or I will repeatedly punch you in the face and any other body parts. And who shows up? Master Splinter. And it was a pretty heartfelt moment. Am I the only one that got a little choked up, a little emotional? Just me? It's okay. As the Donnies are working on to figure out how the dimensionizer works, Leo is trying to explain to Master Splinter what exactly has been going on. But as they figure out what the dimensionizer is used for, they find out there are two more in two other dimensions. As the Turtles leave to try to retrieve the other dimensionizers, they're soon stopped by Krang's subprime, who has a controller that is able to control where they go with their trans-dimensional gun. It was cool seeing Krang subprime and Krang on the same scene together. But as they're arguing, the Turtles take down the Krang, and they escape to the 2D world and end up grabbing the dimensionizer. And as they're getting ready to go to the other dimension and get the last one, Krang subprime Susan stops them again. But as they are getting ready to battle them again, the Donnies end up transporting to the Turtle Prime dimension, which, as you know, is where the source of all Turtles began, basically the comic books. And I love how they did this. It was pretty much like a motion comic book on TV. And as Krang subprime figures out that Krang was trying to destroy the dimensions that the Krang wants to mutate, he gets angry, and we end up getting the backstory that Krang subprime is the one that kicked Krang off of Dimension X and sent him to the two-dimensional Earth. But the Turtles end up taking down Krang subprime, and they say their goodbyes and go back to their own dimensions. And as we're going into the 2D world, we kind of left off in the one scene with the Krang worms in season 2. As the turtles are fighting the worm, you see a blade cutting through the worm, and out pops Tiger Claw, which is cool because we already got like Tiger Claw's explanation of how he got free, but it was cool, you know, reconnecting that story again. Um, Even though it was kind of like a filler episode or an homage episode, it was very fun. I was really smiling through this whole episode. Now, I don't know if anybody else is with me, but I would love to see the 2012 Turtles being able to cross over with the 2003 Turtles, just to see how they would react to each other, because we know how the 2003 was very serious and gritty. I would love to see how they react to that. But I enjoyed this episode. Did you enjoy it? Comment below, let me know what your favorite parts were. And like the video, subscribe if you're new. I'm signing out, and I will see you later.